Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a team that's already making waves in the Premier League, Nottingham Forest. Currently sitting third in the league, they've been absolutely on fire all season, but today it's my job to take them just to that next level. The goal, we're not aiming for the top four, we're going for the Premier League title. With a few key transfers and just a little tactical magic, I'm determined to take this team from the top four and turn them into Premier League winners. I've already got some exciting transfer targets lined up, and trust me, these signings are going to make that massive difference. This honestly could be the rebuild of the year so far. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Then, this is Nottingham Forest inside of the game, and I will go over and say right away, they are one of my favourite teams to rebuild, and now time has gone on, we can actually be quite realistic with the expectations of, look at what they're doing in real life, okay? They're a top four team, they can beat the best of the best, and they have got some really good players. So today it's not about getting top four, it's not about winning a little English Cup, anything like that. This is about winning the Premier League. This is about winning the biggest trophy you can in England, and I tell you what, judging by their overview already, we're seeing this right now. 2 Champions Leagues, 1 English Premier League title, 2 FA Cups, 1 Super Cup, 4 Carabao Cups, 3 Sky Bet Championships. These are a team that have got the job done before, but today we're going to try and add to that collection. Now, in terms of reputation, training and new facilities, they're all pretty average, 3-star out of 5. Average would be the best word to probably use. The owners absolutely love the club. The bank balance doesn't look too good, but I tell you what, I've rebuilt this team before, and you do get some very, very nice budgets. Now, going over to the team, we are going to be using a tactic that was based around Nuno with a few tweaks, okay? So this might change by the end of the video, but essentially, this replicates his style, and it really gets the most out of the players. So, for example, Hudson-Odoi, Alanga really thrive on the winger attacking role. Gibbs-White a little bit deeper, just playmaking, roaming, getting into different areas. This partnership here is going to be incredible for a few seasons. We've got a reasonable back line, a bit of the goalkeeper, I will say, a bit on the older side, but is okay. There's areas of the team which isn't perfect. There's areas of the team that I love. I love this entire front three. Jota Silva I can take for a couple seasons, but despite having fairly good attributes, he is replaceable, I will be honest. So I've got plans for this team. This is probably one of the more recent rebuilds where I've actually done probably a week's planning before recording in terms of who I want to bring in. Now, you would have seen a sneak peek of a man on the thumbnail, and that's going to be a dream, but we'll see what can happen. Let's get into Season 1, which of course is only 3 competitions. So the Premier League, we are predicted to finish in 16th. If we finish there, disappointing will be the word. The FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, don't want to sound negative, I'm not really too fussed on in season number 1. Now, if you are playing back home, you would have had a budget of around about 14 million, 15 million pounds, and at any part of this video, if you think, Josh, I want that tactic, I want this rebuild file, and all of these wonderful perks, you can check out the Patreon linked in the description below. So make sure you head on over, because at the moment, we've got 20% off, and you unlock all of my year's tactics and all of the rebuild files. So it's a lot of fun to carry on. Also going to start posting some challenge rebuilds up for you people as well. Q Season 1, let's get into the top 4. Oh, I said I didn't care about them, but we are going to be in a Carabao Cup final against Aston Villa, so not an easy team to beat, but a big mistake there for Marcus Rashford, and Williams is going to go alone and put it past Olsen, so a bit of a lucky final that Martinez is not going to be in goal, because he is an absolute nightmare, and we actually go on to make it 2-0 inside of 23 minutes. Now, Villa are not an easy team to beat, and just after half-time, just a little bit after, 61 minutes played, Tielemans is going to find Watkins, who completely has, it's a perfect run to exploit the back line. He is going to get a goal back for Villa, and unfortunately for us, 10 minutes after, they're going to go through and tie up this game with Marlon down the right. We're not closing down enough. It's a great ball in, and it is going to be Williams not leaping enough, and we're now going to be forced into extra time, where luckily, I will say, in the 108th minute, look at that for a set piece. We're going to win the Carabao Cup. The Premier League, we done exactly what I wanted to do. We do finish in 4th place, and to be honest, I think for a first season, not only is it realistic, but also it's quite a good way to build up the team. We should have a fair budget. We've already won 1 cup. We've won this. We've got 1 more cup to showcase as well, and it is also quite nice to see a couple of our players, well, mainly goalkeeper and left back, doing well. Now, I will say, the likes of Alex Moreno, he is 30. Now, he's a great player, but I think just for the future and the realism of a rebuild and trying to future-proof the team, despite him having a very good season, I think we can probably sign a younger left-back with more potential. He is a very pre-made good left-back, but I don't quite know if it's the correct decision to do on this occasion. And also, Villa, I imagine, are going to want serious money. So 36 million for a 30-year-old left-back, I might turn that down, to be honest. But do you know what? In terms of this season, very, very strong. And for someone who said he doesn't care about sort of English Cup finals, you couldn't be further wrong, apparently, because we are going to be in the FA Cup final and we go on to win this in the 87th minute. That is 2 clutch finals. Meaning in season 1, we have won the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, 2 very decent trophies to win, but was not really the main focus of the video. And we have got Champions League football. So you put all of those together, it is a very strong first season. And it is a mixture of already having a decent team, but also just this tactic is genuinely really, really good, and it gets the most out of all the players without relying on one, if that makes sense. So Alanga 16 and 11, Gibbs White 11 and 14, Hudson-Odoi 13 and 10, 13 and 6 for Jota Silva, 12 and 1 coming in here. Now let's not forget about Taiwo. Let's not forget about him, because he's easy to overlook when you look at the other players in the team, but he is an absolute tank. His 7 goals in the league does actually help us out big time. He is a player who might not last forever at this club in this rebuild, but while we've got him, we're going to pay our respects to him. And I tell you what, another player, Moreno, who we've discussed, he's had a great loan season. I'm just not sure it's a good idea to spend that amount of money, and that's based off the fact we get him for 30 million. I'm not sure if it's a sensible idea to put all that money into a left back. Nico Williams had a great season. Sells obviously had a fantastic season. Yates a decent season. It's a real good, well put together sort of season. Now, we've got players out on loan. So for example, we've got this guy out on loan. It is going to be Emmanuel Dennis. He of course is actually playing currently in Sky Bet Championship. So a step down from us. He did score 14 goals. So maybe he's a player that can come back. Anyone that does well out on loan, I always give a chance. But if they don't do it in the Prem, they can move on. That's not harsh, it's just reality. Now, in terms of money, we have got a budget of around about 53 million. In terms of the debts and loans, we have got a fair bit to deal with, so we are going to spend to try and remain competitive, but there might be a season in this video where we're quite quiet and reserved with the transfers, so don't be surprised if you do see that in one of them. If you are enjoying so far, be sure to leave a little like and subscribe, because it does help out big time, and it is completely free, as we now queue in to season 2 of the transfers. Well, we have used installments, which goes against everything I said about, you know, not trying to go too over the top, but I have raided Crystal Palace. That is correct. So the first one is going to be Tyrick Mitchell. Now, he comes in for 45 million and is incredibly consistent. Now, not as many assists as Moreno, but if you look at the future, he's only 25. Yes, we did pay a very similar price tag to what we would have paid for Moreno, and in areas he's not as good, but I tell you what, 17 tackling, great work rate, great stamina, good pace, good acceleration. His only weakness is really the crossing, and we can work with him on that. So, do you know what? For that price tag, for a left-back forever in this rebuild, it's an absolute bargain. And Palace don't just have him. They also have the likes of Chris Richards. 44.5 million after the add-ons. What was it, 33 up front? 37. So he come in again and done an absolute stellar job. This guy can play right-back and centre-back. Again, only 25 years left in the tank. And these players are easy to get from a team like Palace, because they're going to go from Palace to Champions League football. So for the grand total of 80 million, we have secured, hopefully, 2 permanent options in our backline for this entire rebuild. So that is business done well. I think next season we can push on. And it's exactly what we do in the Prem. And I tell you what, it's very close, because we're actually joint on points with Man City. Chelsea second, Liverpool first. We are going to be seeing Taiwo come in with the second most goals in the Prem. And I'm very happy he is doing this, because I really like this guy. He's got the pace, he's got the finishing. His composure can let him down. But do you know what? He is getting the job done. And when you're only 7 behind Haaland, you do deserve to get some game time. That is a pure fact. Alanga is also going to be second most player of the matches, because alongside of Gibbs White, he is going to pick up the most assists in the league. It is absolutely incredible. The way we're taken to the Premier League at the moment is, well, I guess you could say realistic. We're going to get to another Carabao Cup final. This time we are going to be playing Liverpool, so a much tougher game, and it actually took us 70 minutes to get the only goal of the game, meaning we are back-to-back winners. Thank you, Danilo. This is where the season goes downhill a little bit, because a chance to win the Community Shield we do fail. I mean, we do play Man City, so it is fair game, but it is going to be a 3-0 loss. And the rest of the competitions, a quarter-final exit against Chelsea in the FA Cup, meaning we are not going to go double back-to-back in English competitions. And the Champions League, our first real effort with some signings to go into it, we done incredible in this stage. I mean, we beat teams, Benfica, Leipzig, Marseille, Villa, Atalanta, Bayern. We're beating big teams, but as you've seen, as soon as it gets to the actual real sorts, I didn't mean to do that, the sort of real phase, we can go back and sort of track it. Nottingham Forest is going to be a loss to Liverpool. So I'm not being funny, I'm not angry with the team, because Liverpool also done very well in the Prem. They've won the Prem. They're a top team, a great team. I imagine still got Arne Slot in charge, so fair play. They know what they're doing. They're a great team. And for me, 2 seasons in, we've currently won 3 English Cups. We're progressing in the Premier League. I can't really complain. We've only really had 1 official transfer window, and going into the next one, we've got an even better budget of 61 million, so they're being very generous with the money they're giving back, and that is because they can see a plan being put in place. And we have to have another shout out for this guy, because he can score goals, 35 across all competitions. We've got Danilo coming in with 13 assists, Sangare coming in with 10 and 9, 15 and 2. That is why you go and get the set pieces, because this lad can score set pieces. He's an absolute nut job. 16 heading. He loves to get aggressive. And just looking at the team, everyone's doing what they need to do. But the harsh reality comes down to there's a lot of these players still in the team that aren't quite Premier League winning quality players. And a part of it, you know, you probably look at the goalkeeper right away, and he had a great first season. The second season, not as promising. A lot of people, and I'm going to say myself, do even question the likes of Jota Silva. I also question this guy, and that might seem crazy, because he has scored a ton of goals in this season, but I just don't see him doing it over a consistent amount of time. So I do feel, over the years that come on, we are going to see the likes of Jota Silva, we're going to see this lad leave, we're going to see Sells leave, and obviously, mainly, improve the backup players. And this is why rebuilds are so fun, because you don't need to sign 19 players in one window. You can obviously do it realistically, sensibly, 2-3 players in every season, maybe 1 player, and build up the team gradually. But realistically, on the wings, Hudson-Odoi, Alanga, it can get you far. Can they win you a Premier League? I still don't know. Luckily, we're now going into another season. Well, I looked at the attack, and as much as I love the attack and what they have done, I am going to decide to strengthen it a little bit, and I've signed 2 attacking players. So the first one is going to be one of my favourite wingers in the Prem. That is going to be Brian Mbomo. He comes in for 52 million, and he delivers 7 goals, 13 assists. That is 20 goal contributions in 33 games in the league alone. He is absolutely incredible, because he can play up front, on the right, and if needed, also on the left. So now we're trying to do sort of what I've done on my live stream save, where we've got really world-class, I'm not going to use the word world-class, but we've got really good wingers, and essentially we'll be in a situation, hopefully in a couple of years, where Alanga and Hudson-Odoi are almost our backup players. Now, it doesn't mean they won't get big opportunities, but if you can have 4 very good wingers, with 2 of them being the real star ones, you're going to be in a great situation. And to carry on that conversation, we also go and sign Tell for 70 million. So we are going to go out with big installments on this guy, and he delivered 29 goal contributions, 25 being goals, and this guy is incredible. He is very hot or cold with how he develops in the game. I looked at how he done in the past couple of seasons, and he has been a very good player. So for me, I'm hoping this guy can just come in, again, can play on the left, can play up front, so it's not going to really get in the way of the strikers that are already in the team, because they can get game time, because this guy can go on the wing as well. And you know what? I think with these 2 signings alone, it's an expensive window with a lot of installments, but I think this window might now mean the next season we might not sign anyone, because we have gone pretty big. But we have got 2 incredible attackers, previous season 2 incredible defenders. these are some good transfer windows. We'll start with the negatives this season, though, because we are going to bail out in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Very close, though. It's going to be on penalties against Borussia Dortmund. Now, in terms of the league phase, we've still done very well. Not flawless, 100% win rate. We don't lose a game, actually, to be fair. We draw against Barca, Monaco, Aston Villa, and we do beat some decent teams there. We get to the round of 16 where we do just about edge past Atletico Madrid, and obviously we find ourselves in this situation again. So a bit of a unlucky way to go out. And the same quarterfinal exit in the Carabao Cup. So 2 quarterfinal exits in one season. Hopefully the FA Cup and the league look a little bit better. Well, in the FA Cup final, that is right, another English FA Cup final, we are going to play Palace. Now, their backline does not look anywhere near as good because we've taken 2 players from it, and we take advantage of that. Now, I will say their replacement for one of the signings was Malacia, and he got absolutely torn apart this game. Tell's having an absolute field day out here. 2-0 inside of 25 minutes. Another goal from Tell. That is now 3 goals in 66 minutes, and we go on to win this game at Wembley. It's so comfortable. They offered nothing, Palace. I don't even know how they got to the final, but we're going to take it. It's a very comfortable 4-0 win. And although we've not progressed in the league, I am actually very happy because not only is the new man up front top goal scorer in the league, the first time any of our players have achieved that, we are also seeing Mbomo having a very good time with the assists. So the new signings that were big gambles for the price tags have paid off. We're being very consistent in English football. Again, Champions League qualification. And I look at this right now, and we're winning English Cups for fun. Obviously, the big one's the Premier League. That is really all we care about. But as it stands, we're looking on a very, very good path. It is consistency, and to be honest, if you go back into this right now, the teams that we are actually beating, we are beating teams like City, like Newcastle, like Arsenal. We can go up against the best teams in the league, which is really good to see, to be honest. Now, in terms of money, we are going to have a bit more of a restricted budget, which is completely fine. We've spent a lot of money in the past couple of seasons, and unless there's a real bargain, free agent, maybe someone coming up for expiry, I might not sign anyone this year because I don't want to bring in loads of faces purely for the fun of it. But if the right man comes up that fits into the team, I will carry on the path we're going. And the path we're going on already is becoming quite obvious. I'm going for a very quick, direct front 4. That's what I want. With someone in this AM role like Gibbs-White who doesn't need the pace. He can sit there, dictate the play. The wingers, the next man out is probably going to be Jota Silva. I will be honest. Now, he's not even had a stinky season. It's 13-5. It's okay. Tell 46 goal contributions. The wing-backs doing their thing because in this system they're not exactly the most attacking, so I can't be too, judgmental on them. 5 and 7 from Dominguez is decent. Danilo 1 and 8, and Bomo 8 and 17 on the bench. Hudson-Odoi 13 and 12, Sangare 3 and 7. We've got 6 and 4 from Alanga, which is good to see because, as I was saying before, I'm not signing wingers to kick Alanga and Hudson-Odoi out the team. I want a team to play as a team. And for a team to play as a team, you don't just need an 11. You need an entire squad. So let's get into the next season. A couple of people did turn up to be very sensible signings, and the first one is going to be James Trafford. We do need a young goalkeeper to eventually take the reins, and he has done quite a decent job, to be fair. 15 clean sheets in 33 games, only cost me 15 million. We got him at a time where Burnley probably needed money after quite an average season, so I thought I wasn't really planning on spending a lot of money, but for 15 million... he should be our number 1 for hopefully this entire rebuild. It was more of a you have to get him now sort of vibe. And the same's going to be said for Dragusin because he gets stick in real life, but in this game he is very good. 16 heading, he's quick, he's got great tackling, he's got good positioning, he's only 25, he's played for some very, very big teams. We bring him in for 20 million, so we don't even spend our entire transfer budget over both of these signings. He comes in, doesn't play every game, he's still adapting obviously to my system, to my team, and again it just adds another player into that back line. And we do have one outgoing. It's going to be Jamie Newton going to Queen of South. I didn't even know much about him, so not really a big loss, no disrespect to Jamie, but looking at this right now, these windows have been almost perfect. We've strengthened the back line significantly in season 1, and that showed off. This window here showed off big time last season, and the question is now, can a new goalkeeper and an additional quality centre-back push us from 3rd to either 1st or 2nd? Even 2nd's an improvement. Let's go and see. Chance to win that Community Shield, and this time another giant team. It always will be. Unfortunately, Liverpool 1-0, and I've looked at the stats. We dominated that game. The first humiliation in an English Cup. We are going to lose in the third round against Oxford United on penalties. That's just not good enough. The English Cups have fallen off big time now, it seems, because we are going to fall... I mean, it's Man City, so realistically, if we would have won this game, we most likely would have beaten whoever we played in the final. But sadly, we just can't get past Man City. So, who knows? Maybe an improvement in the Champions League. That would be quite nice. I wouldn't say an improvement. Again, we're playing big teams, so I'm not going to be too judgmental. We are going to lose again, this time to Barcelona in 2-1 fashion. Round of 16, we beat Shakhtar, so I would say probably to be expected. The league phase, again, we're playing some good football. We're beating Sporting, Atletico, Arsenal, getting a point against AC Milan, and the one loss against Madrid, who are probably the strongest team here. So it's still a very good display, and what makes it better is we have actually strengthened in the Premier League. So the goalkeeper comes in, the most clean sheets. That is a sign of a great signing. Tell, back-to-back top goal scorers. Gibbs White in the assist category, really good to see. And we are only 4 points off the top, so we might wrap this up in 5 seasons. We honestly might. The signings we're making now have been planned for such a long time. I spent ages looking at this Nottingham Forest team, and some of the people I wanted, I haven't got. Trafford was not my first choice. But do you know what? Richards wasn't my first choice. But they've come in, and they've done a really good job, and we're progressing almost on a perfect chart, apart from, I guess, if you do include the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, they go from up here to down here this season. But I mean, we've come in a few seasons in, the reputation is absolutely going through the roof. We've added several trophies to the cabinet. It's going good so far. Let's queue into the next season, but before we do, of course, we are going to see how the player's done. Now, Trafford, we know what he done. Great goalkeeper. Richards now playing right back, 5 and 3. Mitchell, 1 and 6. It's okay. 2 and... I do want to say maybe a bit more from the deep-lying playmaker. Danilo's fine. Dominguez is fine, because he doesn't really get a chance to get forwards. But the deep-lying playmaker, I would like to see a little bit more from. So I'm going to keep a little eye on that one. And Bomo, a bit of a quieter season. We've got Gibbs White doing very consistent numbers. Jota Silva, it could be time, and Tell 41 and 6, so he knows what he's doing. Hudson-Odoi 7 and 12, 9 and 1 coming in there. I mean 9 and 6 from Sangare or Sangar, let me know, I don't want to butcher his name. Dragusin 2 assists, 3 and 3 for Alanga. I mean, we have got a very good project planned right now, and I mean, I think there's just a handful of players in here that I would sell to bring in some more money on top of the 15 million. Wow, it's a bit of a quiet one. 22 million. So this will be a season where we need to sell. So let's go and see who we can sell. Jota Silva, we can probably raise about £20 million for. Who else could we potentially sell? How is Dominguez actually playing? Potentially sell him for about 10-15 million. There's a few 10 to 15 million pound players here, so we'll go and analyse it, we'll go and look, and yeah, let's just get into the next season. This is going almost too good at the moment. And so I looked at our midfield players, and judging based off performance, based off age, over this entire rebuild, not one season, it is going to be Ibrahim Sangare, who is going to leave. We do get £20 million, so we do recover a bit of the money we brought from PSV. Now, he's gone to Everton in the Championship. He has a decent season, nothing electric, but at least we've got money coming back in. I couldn't sell Ryan Yates, but he is getting old, okay? He's 30 years of age. He's fallen off a little bit, to be honest, and you know what, when you can loan him to Wolves, at least he's going to play some games. They paid a fair bit of his wage, and it just gets a little bit of the financial stress off us. And the one player we signed to replace the DM that we did obviously offload is going to be James Garner. He only costs 22 million. He plays very well in his first season at Nottingham Forest, and I tell you what, it is a perfect swap. We have replaced someone who was, you know, fallen off a little bit with a player who is currently an elite midfield player in their prime, played in England all of his career, and he's one of the better players you can sign in Football Manager. So, do you know what? Genuinely, again, great business, and I just hope that we haven't gone 1 for 1, okay? So we've got rid of 2 DMs, brought 1 in. That's my judgment. If that doesn't work in the Premier League, it's on me. And I've just noticed, actually, I said first stint. I forgot he did play for Nottingham Forest. So, welcome back to Garner. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what's happened in this league. I don't know what's happened in the league, but I tell you what, we have fallen down to 8th place. Now, this can be a mixture of things, injuries, or we might have done the unthinkable and won the Champions League, and we've played every game, and we've just not been able to stay consistent in the Prem. We have dropped from 2nd to 8th. We need to go and see what's happened. I'll tell you one thing, and maybe I should have shown you in a different way, but that's not how I do my videos, really. I don't just try and keep you here to keep you here. We have won one of the English Cups, because we are in Europa League, so we couldn't have won the Champions League. Let's just go and find out what's happened here, because 8th place, that's not what I want to be seeing. So it is going to be another trip to Wembley, and it is going to be a comfortable game because we face Sunderland, and our team, at the moment, 5 years in, is so superior to Sunderland, it's not even really any competition. Ghana's going to go through for Mbomo down the right in the box. It's a simple 2-0 win. I'll take it. We didn't win the Champions League, but I tell you what, it's into a semi-final appearance, so it's not awful. The quarterfinals, we do go on to beat PSG 9-5, which is a big, big statement. The round of 16, we are going to beat Galatasaray 4-2, and the league phase, we are going to be, what, in 6th place? 5 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. It's not too bad, to be honest. And yeah, I will also say, because we've watched so many of the highlights before, we go on to also win the Carabao Cup. 4-1 over Bournemouth in extra time. So it's got to be, again, the English trophy double, but the Premier League, it almost takes away any sort of liveliness from getting to a semi-final and winning both of the English Cups. This is shambolic. We've almost gone on a very nice upward spiral to down here. It's a complete crash. It's a complete crash. It's as simple as that. And I think what we're going to do is we are going to go and see if any other players got sold mid-window. Something's happened here because this is not normal. It's not normal. I've checked the staff. Our staff are fine. Transfers, something's happened. Something's happened. Nothing's happened. Okay, we need to go and dig deeper because this is simply not good enough. In terms of the players, we can go and see. I mean, if we look, we have lost obviously a couple of people. It's still a great team. It's a great team what we've got here. The stat lines are also very similar. I'm going to go and do some digging. We're going to get into season 6 right away because we've also got a lot of money. Either are people leaving in the outs? Something's gone on here because we've got a fair bit of money and we've dropped off. It doesn't add up. I'm going to go and find out, and I'll come back in season 6 because 8th place, that's just alarming. Right, so I've done some digging and I'm pretty sure I found a little bit about why, because I think a lot of the players did want to leave. A lot of them were transfer listed as well, so maybe it was just the morale of the team. It's the only thing I can put it down to, but we do sell a fair few players this window. Ryan Yates gets his move to Crystal Palace for 12 million. Again, considering we've had him from day one, that is pure profit at the end of the day. He has a decent season at Palace, but for us, he's just not going to play. He's had a great time here, Taiwo. He's had a great time, but when he's not going to get game time, I don't want to disrespect him. So we are going to cash in. He's going to go to the Saudi League and absolutely take over. £15 million, nearly recovered all of the money from Union Berlin. He's done pretty well for us, okay? Mainly that first season, and ever since then, younger and better players have come in. But do you know what? He's helped us out, so he's played a big part in the rebuild. The player that was planned to go last season is Jota Silva. We get 17 million, so again, real big profit, obviously, from what we paid from VTSC. He goes to the Saudi League again, 22 goals and 5 assists, so he's also loving life there. So a lot of money come back into the club. Now let's welcome the players that we've signed. So then, signing one, and this one was a difficult deal to get over the line, and I've sort of put all my eggs in one basket. We have got other players that are coming in, but this is by far the biggest name. It is going to be Savinho. He come in for 75 million, and what I do like is the assists and the goals. He has come in and delivered. Now, this guy was expensive. He was 75 million. He's a lot of money. He's on a lot of money per week, but he is one of my favourite players to watch in real life. He is such a talent, and obviously he's developed in this save on top of that. He's quick, the dribbling's there, he can finish. Despite having 11 finishing and 12 composure, in game, trust me, he can bag goals. So I'm hoping this is the difference between having very good wingers to having leaving Premier League winning wingers. That is going to be the mindset. And hopefully, with the other two names you're going to see, we can achieve that. So we've turned and got another striker to replace Taiwo. It is going to be Augustin. He's going to come in from Newcastle. He comes in for 36 million. Doesn't play many games. He is purely a backup striker. But when you've got the money to spend, you can obviously get very good backup players. And I tell you what, we're going to look at the team at the end of this video. And the team that obviously, well, it might even change, but the team that we sort of built at the moment is absolutely nuts. Genuinely incredible. And it doesn't stop there. We've got one more. I am sorry to Crystal Palace fans, because that is now 3 players I've swiped from you. This is going to be Matthias Franca. He comes in, of course, from Palace for £50 million. In terms of stat lines, I will say it's not electric, but a good average rating and a player for the future, kind of. He's 25, so sort of middle age, but he is sort of coming into his own, and very similar to other players on our team who are around that age category. They're ready to get the job done now. So we have built a team that should win the Premier League. If it's ever going to happen, it will win this season or maybe in the next 2. If it doesn't happen in that time frame, the signings we've made haven't worked, and it's as simple as that. So we've invested big in this window. We've also sold players and had a big budget, so we've not bankrupted the club, but we have invested big and invested in a lot of Brazilian players. So let's hope that flair comes through. Of course, there's no Champions League this year, but we are going to go into, I can guarantee, a first European final in this video, and it is going to be quite an easy path there. A 5-1 win over Sporting in the Europa round of 16, the quarterfinals, a 7-2 win over FC Midtjylland, and the semis, we are going to win 5-0 over FC Porto, meaning we've got to go in against Tottenham, and I'll be honest, I'm feeling pretty confident against them. Here we go then, the game being held at Glasgow, so let's hopefully go here and get a great start to the game, which is exactly what we are going to do. And that looked like a pass from Ghana, the power of that shot, so surprised it went in, but this is it's very easy. It's a 2-0 win, simple as that. We also go on to finally win the Community Shield, one of the few English trophies we have not won alongside of the Premier League. We finally have done it, so that is 2 finals and 2 victories. Sadly, we're not going to sort of carry on that spell because we get knocked out to the next team we're going to rebuild. That is going to be Derby, so who knows, maybe we've got a hidden team in us there because they are being rebuilt next on the channel, and I can tell you what, it's very annoying to lose to them, I can tell you that, especially in the 5th round. And a very early exit in the Carabao Cup, the 3rd round. This time at least it is against Chelsea, so it is somewhat to be expected. But yeah, we've won the Premier League. Now, I'll be honest, it was somewhat expected because we have brought in ridiculous players. We've had that window which goes from building a great team to a world-class team. Matisse Tell with 32 goals, Savinio 16 assists, Trafford in there with the clean sheets as well. We have had an absolute blinder when it comes to just picking up players that will get the job done. This has been the most consistent transfer windows that have instantly improved the team, apart from that one weird season where we finished 8th. Now, we have also won a European trophy in that same season and that Community Shield, so it is a dream situation for this rebuild, and we go here, the reputation on the up. We have won so many more trophies for this fantastic team. Simply said, fantastic team. The finances, if you are going to carry on back home, you have got £132 million. You've also got next to no debt as well. We've cleared that for you, so you're going to have a great save file here with a world-class tactic. And let's just talk through the team, okay? We're going to talk about the stats in a second, but look at the team you've actually been left. So you've got Trafford, you've also got Turner as backup. You could invest money in a better backup, but to be honest, you don't even need to. Richards, you've got Dragusin, you've got Nico Williams, you've then got the likes of Milinkovic, I always butcher that, Morato, Mitchell, you've got the likes of Murillo, you've got the likes, if I scroll down for example, you've also got the likes of Richards again on the bench this time, you've got Dragusin, I don't know if I said that as well, you have got several centre-back options, and the beautiful thing about this is, you've got so much money, you can even go and sign some of the best wonder kids if you really wanted to. In midfield, you've got Garner, Danilo, you've got Dominguez, you've got Panzo, you've got really, really strong players. And again, what I've liked about this rebuild is we've not gone out there and been boring. I've seen in the video comments recently, like, you're signing a lot of the same wonder kids. We just won it all with Danilo and Garner. So we have switched it up today, and I think that does make it quite fun. The big part of this, which is why it is so good, is this. Savinho, Mbomo, Franca, Tell. on the bench, you've got incredible options. You've got the likes of Roberto, you've got Gibbs White, you've got Alanga, you've got Hudson-Odoi. You've got really, really strong players, and it did show. Gibbs White 16 and 12. We've got Roberto 10 and 4. We've got 7 from Dragusin. We've got some really strong players here. 44 and 10 from Tell. Savinio 15 and 32. 47 goal contributions. Franca had a pretty quiet season, but I don't think he played every game because Gibbs White did really dominate them stat lines. And Bomo 15 and 7, 7 and 13 for Ghana. It's really good stuff. It genuinely is a really good team we've built here, and probably the funnest I've had because we've gone for players that aren't traditional, you know, João Neves, Doué, you know, Diamande, all of these generic sort of very overused players. We've gone a little bit unique, and over these transfer windows, we've spent sensibly, but we've spent very efficiently as well. Every window has been planned and done to a very high level. And that is going to be Nottingham Forest rebuilt. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Once again, you know where to get the rebuild and the tactic, and I'll be seeing you in the next one, which of course is Derby.